Yes. Welcome to the fine print, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Caleb Teske, and I don't even want to say I've got another great show for you today. This is not really what I'd like to be doing on my Sunday, but we're going to do it anyway. Let me just shout out a couple of my last guests here, as we normally do. Nate Brown from Green Mountain Gardens. Great chat with Nate there. I really like the way that he's operating his cultivation. Napstar, Mark Lawrence, my man there, just put out a new album, Verona. If you guys haven't checked that out, it's a super banger. Really great work there, Mark. And of course, my interview with John Campbell from Satori. I thought that went super well. I don't know if it went that well for him, but I enjoyed it. And Evan Carlson from NEK Broadband, who's trying to bring internet access to rural Vermont here. And then let's see what we got coming up, dude. I got some interesting things. I've been slowing down a lot here, guys, but coming up on Tuesday, I got a interview with a guy named Jeff, who runs an Instagram account named Jade Nectar out in California, who's had some really interesting observations on how the market's playing out there. And then on Tuesday, September 3rd, I got Micah Khan, who just directed a movie called Zombie Wedding. And I met Micah a long time ago when I was doing comedy, incidentally. And I'm super excited to have Micah on. And then on September 10th, I've got Malcolm McKinnon, who was the High Times editor, photographer, writer for like 25 years. They had a radio show. I got a copy of his book in the back. He sent me some CDs from the radio show. That's going to be a fantastic interview, I think. And I think that's all the homework we're going to do. My guest today is fucking me. We're going to talk about some of this drama. Apparently, you guys were super interested in this. When I posted about the cops showing up to my house a few weeks ago. So I'm not exactly, I haven't written any notes or anything for this. I feel like I've lived it enough to just tell you the story. Maybe a little historical context would be good. For some of you guys that don't know, I did used to do stand-up comedy for a few years. I thought that was going super well. I grew up with the owners of the Vermont Comedy Club in the Northeast Kingdom. We went to high school and grade school together. Natalie's dad, Fred, used to umpire my baseball games when I was catching and stand right behind me. I've known these guys for a long time. And they kicked me out of their club for, calling some girl a bitch on Facebook. That really got blown up and blown out of proportion, if you ask me. But yeah, I was having a great time doing comedy. It was a real bummer how that ended. Within a year, I had 4 of my own shows going. I was paying people, unlike the comedy club does, get free drinks too at my shows. So that was a bummer. And I think that was like 2016, I want to say, somewhere in there. I'm not very good at timelines, but it was somewhere back then, maybe 17. But yeah, super bummer that happened. Anyway, I thought we had put this all behind us. I don't know. Cops showed up to my house a few weeks ago, and I got this notice of hearing, and I have the affidavit here. This is a notice of hearing here from Eric Drieblatt accusing me of stalking. And as you guys might also remember, this is not the first time I've been accused of stalking. Last year, Kelly Story, who owned an edible manufacturing company, also tried to accuse me of stalking. We went to court 3 times up in Newport. She was unable to provide any type of evidence that impressed the judges, and the case was dismissed without going to a full hearing because she couldn't meet the burden of proof at all. And yeah, that was another huge pain in my ass, man. Like, I don't care if we don't get along, guys. That's fine. I don't get along with a lot of people. I know some of you don't like me. I don't like some of you. That's okay. As soon as you start sending cops to my house to fuck with me and my girlfriend, who has been here to answer the door for those cops, now we got kind of a problem. I don't like the cops. I don't know if you guys have gathered that about me, but I don't like cops. Don't fuck with me. Don't send them to my house. That's where I have an issue. You can talk all the shit you want about me. As soon as you call cops, we got a problem. So, um, I woke up the next day. I wasn't awake when they came here. I went down the next day to the police station here in Morrisville, and I was fully expecting this paperwork to be from somebody in the weed industry, somebody who doesn't like the work that I'm doing, maybe low key alchemy, who, has been up my ass recently. That's what I was expecting. I went down there and they give me this notice of hearing from fucking Eric Drieblatt. Now, Eric is a kid that I used to do shows with. We've done probably a handful of shows together. He co-hosted a show that I did at Catamount Arts back in the day, the comedy shootout. That was super fun. He stayed at my mom's house in Lindenville. I thought I was a good, I thought I was hospitable. We've never had a problem until I got banned from the comedy club. Like, me and Eric personally have never had any kind of issue. So I was super surprised to see his name on this paperwork. I actually looked at the cop and I was like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, I haven't seen this kid for probably 7 years. And the cop was kind of laughing. He said, if you read through the affidavit, it's actually kind of an interesting read. So we had a nice little laugh down there. I came home, had a nice little laugh with Tasha about it. And then the hearing was, what's today? Sunday. The hearing was on Thursday this week. So, as I said, I've had experience dealing with this shit, with Kelly Story. And I talked to some legal counsel. I got some sage advice. My friend who said, look, if she can't meet the burden of proof, they're going to dismiss it. You're going to sit there and shut the fuck up. You're not going to say anything. You're not going to get into any bullshit, and you're just going to leave. And that's what I did. And, she was crying on the way out. Wait, but I have more stuff. It's like, yeah, you've had 3 days to prove your case and haven't impressed the 3-judge panel here. So I'm kind of used to this. And when I got this in the mail, and we're going to go through this, I have all the paperwork here. I'm going to read through some of it for you guys. I expected the same thing. I said, we're going to go into court. This is going to get dismissed because the kid doesn't have any evidence whatsoever. And then I'm going to leave and I'm not going to say a fucking thing. I'm going to be a good boy, put my good boy pants on, and I'm going to just walk out. So the thing about this is it's just wild because I literally have not seen or had any contact with these guys. After they kicked me out of the club, I did send a few emails. I was trying to get a chance to defend myself, which they never gave me. Even though Natalie says she does thorough investigations, she never talked to me at all about any of that shit. And neither did Eric. So no contact, in person, online, phone, nothing. And so seeing his name on a piece of paper from the cops was just fucking wild to me. And so leading up to this, so here we've got you're not going to be able to see that well, but this is a denial from a stalking order from Eric. So it looks like on July 25th of this year, he filed a complaint for stalking against me, alleging that I'll get to the allegations. However, this was denied. His emergency relief was denied, according to the court, because the allegations failed to support a finding that the defendant stalked the plaintiff or plaintiff's children as defined by statute. And then although obviously the alleged actions are disturbing, they do not come within the definition of stalking under Vermont law, following, surveilling, monitoring, or threatening physical harm. So his emergency relief was denied, and then he filed an intent to pursue the complaint shortly thereafter. And this complaint for the order against stalking, by the way, if you guys have any questions or comments, I see some of you guys are watching. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might throw at me here. But this is the complaint here. Complaint for order against stalking, where he says we are acquainted, and then says on more than one occasion on or about May 4th, 2022 and July 20th, 2024, the defendant purposefully did one or more of the following. And then it says followed, monitored, or surveilled. So he's accusing me of following him and monitoring and surveilling him. And the plaintiff requests the court order the defendant to stay away from Eric Drieblatt in person, online, virtually, electronically, blah, blah, blah. Also accused me of a breach of the peace, disturbances, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to read, before I give you my reaction to the fucking way this played out in court, which was absolutely ridiculous, I'm going to read you the stuff that Eric sent to the cops here. And this is going to take a minute, but I think this is important. I'm going to read all of it. So it says, Caleb Teske is in violation of Vermont statute title 13, section 1061, Vermont's anti-stalking law, and 13 VSA section 1027, Vermont's disturbing the peace by use of telephone or other electronic communications law. Caleb Teske has engaged in an untrue, ongoing, relentless cyber stalking campaign with the purpose of causing emotional distress. Caleb Teske's course of conduct has the intent to terrify, intimidate, threaten, harass, and annoy me. I fear for my safety both online and in real life. This course of behavior by Caleb Teske would cause a reasonable person substantial emotional distress. In 2016, Caleb Teske was banned from the Vermont Comedy Club for harassing comedians. And I want to just interrupt there. That's not why I was banned. I was banned because I cursed at that girl and she blasted me in a public group. This shit had nothing to do with it. This harassment was done by way of sending harassing electronic messages to multiple female comedians. As a producer and host of comedy shows in Vermont, I too banned Caleb Teske from my comedy events. After I banned Caleb Teske, I too was harassed online. I became the target of an online stalking and harassment campaign that included false online posts and false claims accusing me of sexual assault as well as rape. This pattern of behavior included impersonating me online as well as impersonating others while communicating with me electronically. At various times in 2017, 2019, 2020, and 2021, I received anonymous email and harassing texts or text and email impersonating others. Also, I don't have Eric's phone number, so I'm not sure how I would have done that. These harassing electronic forms of communication left me in fear due to their intimidating and threatening content. On May 21st, 2019, St. Johnsbury police were advised of a disturbance that occurred at the Kingdom Tap Room caused by Caleb Teske, a terminated employee. During the investigation, St. Johnsbury police learned that Caleb was also sending obscene and threatening messages regarding this matter. And that was true. I got fired and I was a wicked dick about that. And I really regret the way that I behaved after I got fired. And that was probably, I wish I could have that one back. I don't. However, me getting fired from a previous job has nothing to do with this. And then he says I was cited into court on June 24th. See Exhibit 1. On May 4th, 2022, an untrue and harassing post from Caleb Teske claiming that I sexually assaulted two unnamed comedians was posted on Reddit and subsequently reposted on the Fans of Comedy in Vermont Facebook page. The Vermont Comedy Club thoroughly investigated these allegations. Never talked to me. The person leading the investigation contacted the poster, and that's Natalie Miller, by the way. Natalie. The poster then provided names of the alleged victims to the investigator. The investigator then contacted the alleged victims about the validity of these claims. And the people interviewed stated that I have never been inappropriate in a sexual way, nor any other way. All the people interviewed stated there was no validity to this claim. The Vermont Comedy Club posted these findings. I love how they're talking like they're actual fucking investigators, like these comedy nerds. The Vermont Comedy Club posted these findings to the Vermont Stand-Up Comics Facebook page. See Exhibit 2. Vermont Comedy Club informed me that Caleb Teske had committed similar acts against others. On July 17th, 2024, an untrue and harassing post from a fake Instagram account determined to be run by Caleb Teske claimed that I am a rapist. It tagged Standing Stones Wine, which is a place I've never heard of in my life. Venue, I have an upcoming show for. This harassing post also tagged Vermont Comedy Club, which is funny because they have me blocked. I don't even know. As in 2022, his claim was thoroughly investigated by Vermont Comedy Club. This claim, just like the 2022 claim, was found to be false. The findings were posted to the Vermont Stand-Up Comics Facebook page. See Exhibit 3. In the course of this investigation, it was determined that Sammy.Roman and at the fine print on journalism were both Caleb Teske. See Exhibit 4. This has been an untrue, ongoing, relentless cyber stalking campaign by Caleb Teske with the purpose of causing emotional distress. The course of conduct has the intent to terrify, intimidate, threaten, harass, and annoy me. I fear for my safety both online and in real life. This course of behavior by Caleb Teske would cause a reasonable person substantial emotional distress. My statements regarding Caleb Teske's behavior can be corroborated by the Vermont Comedy Club. I want Caleb Teske to cease and desist from any form of electronic communications or posts that refer directly or indirectly to me. That is the statement he sent to the cops. Now, I want to show you the exhibits here. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see these, but this is what he sent into the court. It says, Eric Drieblatt is a rapist and literally has a conviction in criminal court for assault and battery. Any comedy venue that books him is unsafe. Spread the word, believe women. And then I'll read you the caption. This is from this Sammy Roman Instagram account. It says, Eric Drieblatt has shows all over the state of Vermont that need to be canceled for the safety of the public. Why are Vermont Comedy and Standing Stones Wine supporting this man? Spread the word, believe women. And then someone actually tagged my Instagram account. It says, I think you know this guy. Where's the expose? Seems like bullshit and favoritism that some people get booted from the Vermont comedy scene and some don't. And the allegations that I would use a fake account to troll someone is kind of funny because I think you guys know that I really have no problem just telling you what I want to say from my own account. So here's the next exhibit, right? This next exhibit is from the Vermont stand-up comedy, and this is from Natalie Miller here, who's the owner of the club, along with Nathan Hartswick. It says, the same person from 2 years ago is trying this bullshit again. It was unsubstantiated then and is still now. All of this is connected to a person we banned from the club in 2015-16. Everything I have saved on them and my whole investigation from 2022 is being sent to the Burlington Police Department. You cop calling bitch, dude. Fuck you, Natalie. I keep records. Hopefully that will put an end to this harassment once and for all. And here's another one from Natalie from May 4th, 2022. This is from the one 2 years ago. Hey, all. A few hours ago, someone posted anonymously that Eric Drieblatt sexually assaulted 2 female comedians a number of years ago. I DM'd with them, and they gave me a list of people to contact who were involved and would know the details. I contacted all 8 people on the list individually, and they all said they had never heard anything like that about him. At this point, it's clear the allegation cannot be substantiated. It's very official language, Natalie. Almost sounds like you fucking know what you're doing. I'll say it again. I take this kind of thing very seriously. I will always investigate all allegations fully, unless they have to do with me, apparently, because they never talked to me when I got kicked out of the club. Great investigation, Natalie. In this case, there was no truth in the claim of sexual assault. Please contact me or use our anonymous reporting form to report assaults or harassment in the comedy scene. Bop, bop, bop. And then he got a screenshot of me getting arrested for a fucking misdemeanor disorderly conduct after I was fired from the tap room. Okay. So that's the paperwork here. Now, so we went to court, right? I went to court on Thursday, as I said. Let me take a hit of this weed here before we get into this. This was the wildest shit, man. I really was not expecting this at all. And so we went to court on Thursday. I got the same legal advice that I got when Kelly Story tried to do this shit to me. So go into court, sit there, shut your fucking mouth. Don't say nothing stupid. Don't get into the weeds. If he doesn't have enough evidence, this is going to get dismissed and you'll walk out. And that's exactly what happened. We went in. Eric appeared online. I went in person because I like to appear in court in person. I feel like it's a better look. And I like to be there to see what's happening. So we went into court. Eric started telling his story, claiming that he wanted, because his first order was denied. He tried to get an emergency order that was denied for lack of evidence. And I thought when I got this affidavit here that there was also a glaring lack of evidence in there. I mean, there's nothing here that would rise to the level of stalking. And the judge agreed with me. So Eric said he was intending to pursue his final order. I said, and the judge gives you all these options. Like, you can agree to an order if you don't want to deal with court bullshit. And I said, I'm not agreeing to any order. I have done nothing here, and I'm definitely not going to agree to any order. So, and then I told him, I said, look, I have not seen Eric Drieblatt for probably 7 years and no contact, no nothing. And the judge looked at Eric. He said, hey, is it true that you haven't seen Caleb for that time period? And Eric said, yeah, that is true. And the judge said, is it true that you haven't had any communications? He said, yeah, that is true. The judge says, has Caleb ever followed you or been in your vicinity or anything like that? And Eric said no, which is funny because here in the affidavit, he tried to say that I clearly, here we go, on one or more occasions that I followed or surveilled him or threatened him. And the judge asked him directly, has that ever happened? He said no. So that was a great start to the hearing for me. Eric admitted he lied on court paperwork because he's accusing me of doing these things. And then in court, when the judge asked him, he said, no, none of those things have ever happened. Imagine that. He also said, right, that somebody emailed his work. And I don't even know where I know where he works now because he said it in court, but I didn't know where he worked. He said, I've been working at this place, and I'm not going to tell you where he works because I don't want you guys fucking harassing Eric. Please, like, let me handle this. I don't need any extra bullshit from this. He said where he worked, and he said, I've been working there for 6 years. It's like, okay, well, I haven't seen this kid for over 7 years. It's like, I don't know where he works. I don't know where he lives. I don't know where he hangs out. I'm not interested in being around him in any way. And so someone emailed his work and said, you can't keep hurting people and getting away with it. Like, okay. He said, that was me. He said, that was me. And they did an investigation. Him and Natalie Miller did an investigation and determined that was me. He also determined this post here from Sammy Roman, which accused him of rape. He also said that was me and that he knows it was me because they did this investigation, which is just super fucking cute, guys. I mean, I'm not the greatest investigative journalist in the world, right? I'm still new at this. I'm learning my way of kind of feeling it out. But when I do investigations, I usually talk to the person who was accused of the thing. Maybe I'm crazy, but like, it's hard to claim that you did an investigation when you don't talk to the person who's accused of the thing. That sounds more like you did a little circle jerk of your fucking comedy nerd friends at the club and then just pointed a finger at me with nothing. And so here's the deal. These exhibits, this shit, Eric said was me, dismissed as hearsay. This thing about me getting arrested at the tap room, dismissed as hearsay. Those are irrelevant to it. This fucking whole statement that he wrote about their investigation, dismissed as hearsay. I thought that was going to be the end of it. Then he said, apparently between whenever he filed this original order and when we went to court, he managed to produce 76 more pages of documents, which I tried to get in a public records request. However, those were deemed inadmissible. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get those, even though I'd really like to see. He said 32 of those pages were from the Vermont Comedy Club and 44 were from him. I imagine they're just screenshots of their friends fucking bitching and moaning on their own fucking Circle Jerk Facebook group page or something like that. So we had to sit there for like 50. It felt like forever, dude. I'm guessing it was probably about 15 minutes. And I am going to get the transcripts from this case. I can get that. It felt like forever. Eric said, I got 76 pages of documents. So like the judge ripped through those first 3 exhibits real quick. It was like hearsay, hearsay, hearsay. And then Eric said, I got 76 other pages of documents. And the judge, they submitted it into the computer right there. And the judge started reading it. I was like, man, am I going to have to sit here and watch this motherfucker read 76 pages of documents? And I don't know how much of it he read, but we sat there in silence for, I'm guessing 15 or 20 minutes. It was a long time, dude. It was painful. And then the judge said, yeah, unfortunately, Mr. Drieblatt, all of this is also hearsay and inadmissible in the court. And even if it were, he said, we're not able to verify the authenticity of any of this shit. And even if it were admissible, would not rise to the level of stalking. Imagine that. And here's a fun fact, dude. I don't stalk people. I'm a kind of lazy guy, dude. I go to work, I go home. I don't have the time to be stalking people, and I definitely don't care about a fucking pathetic little kid like Eric Drieblatt. I fucking let me hit this weed again. I'm getting a little heated. So honestly, I don't even know. This was so ridiculous that it kind of made me laugh a little, although it's not funny, man. You're sending cops to my house to harass me, and my girlfriend is now getting caught up in the middle of that. So she don't like cops either, man. So the fact that here, since Eric likes to bring up old shit about me, let me bring up some old shit about Eric, dude. We'll pull up this old story from 2015 from the Bennington Banner. Oh, Eric Drieblatt, a Clover Lane man accused of inviting an old friend to the woods to catch up and then beating him with a stick over a grudge. Eric Drieblatt of Manchester pleaded not guilty to aggravated assault with a weapon. He was ordered not to have contact with Brian Walters, and I'm trying to get a hold of Brian, too. I'd love to talk to Brian. According to the affidavit, Walters reported to the police he'd been assaulted. He said he went to meet Drieblatt at the Liebrook Falls trailhead off Benson Road in Manchester. They were talking by a rock formation when Drieblatt picked up a stick 1 inch in diameter and hit Walters repeatedly. He ran and was chased, being hit and kicked several more times. Walters told police Drieblatt was upset with him over a romantic relationship Walters had with a girl who had been involved with Drieblatt 3 years ago. I'm going to leave it at that, but it's really funny, man. I tried to tell people a while back that these comedy club kids are like a little circle jerk clique of people. And if you don't fit into their little clique, this is how they treat you. And so I was kicked out of the club for cursing at a girl online. Eric lured his friend into the woods and beat him with sticks. Apparently that's perfectly acceptable behavior. I've never assaulted anyone in my life, dude. Yeah, I've run my mouth a lot. I got some disorderly charge. I got a couple of DWIs. I've never fucking lured one of my friends in the woods to beat his ass. And I'll tell you, I can't even imagine who this kid would be, because Eric is like a pathetic and small little man. He might be 5'6", 5'7", kind of pudgy. I'd be amazed if he's ever thrown a punch in his life. So I imagine the kid that he must have dragged out there would be someone who is super vulnerable, like targeting a super weak kid. In my opinion, that kind of behavior is predatory and clearly assaultive. So when people like that want to point their fingers at me, it's a red flag. You guys, I don't know what the fuck you guys are thinking over here. And Eric, if you're listening, dude, I can't believe you thought this shit was going to work. And you too, Natalie, we did an investigation. Never fucking talk to me. You don't know how to do investigations. You don't even know how to do comedy. You own a comedy club and you ain't funny. So, pointing your finger at me and putting it on police documents, like, fuck you, dude. Fuck both of you. And for real, like, if you guys don't leave me alone, man, I'm going to pursue legal action against you guys. This is ridiculous. It's been 7 fucking years. Get over it. Let me take another hit of this weed here. Also, another word for Eric here about the rape accusation that he's claiming is made by me on a fake account. I don't use fake accounts, dude. I also don't make fake rape accusations against people. That's one thing I would never do. I have friends that have done jail time for fake rape accusations. That would be incredibly irresponsible of me, and I would never fucking do that ever. Even if the chick, whoever this is, even if that person came to me and just said to my face, Eric Drieblatt raped me, I would say, go to the fucking police. I'm not interested in getting involved in anything like that. That ain't my, my ballpark there. So, and I really don't know where they got this idea in their heads that I'm the one doing this. Their investigation clearly, look, like either they really think this was me, which is weird. I don't know why you would really think that. I haven't thought about this shit for years. I'm well over it. And then, or, maybe they're like covering for their friend. I don't fucking know what's going on here. But to allege that I'm creating fake accounts and because Natalie Miller did a fucking investigation. Is Natalie Miller like a forensic computer expert? Does Natalie, like, if you could get a hold of the IPs from those accounts, you would clearly know that it's not me. But you can't even do that. You guys produced no fucking evidence. Although somehow Eric had 76 pages of evidence. And it was all tossed as hearsay. This is straight up harassment. This is what these guys do when they don't like you, and they try to say I was harassing female comedians. That ain't what happened. I cursed at a random stranger that I've never met in my fucking life, dude. I don't, Siobhan Reardon, whatever her fucking name is. She's not a comedian. So I don't know. I don't know how much more I got here, guys. I do have, a free t-shirt if Nathan or Natalie or Eric is listening. Oh, yeah. I got a free t-shirt if any of you guys could fit into one of those. You guys are all well out of line, man. And I'm glad now that we're seeing, I hate that I had to go to court and deal with this bullshit, but I'm kind of glad because I was telling people the whole time that you and your friends are fucking scumbags. And now we're seeing some of that scumbag behavior coming out, lying on fucking court documents, harassing me for no reason when I've had no contact with you whatsoever. Also, being painfully unfunny. I feel like that should be a crime. All of these fucking kids. Anyway, I think that's about all I got, guys. I don't want to dwell on this too much. I'd like to just put it behind me and fucking move on with my life and not have any more fucking cops show up to my house. Straight up, guys, if you send cops to my house one more time, dude, we're going to have a problem. And I'm going to fucking pursue legal action against you. This is bullshit. You guys are both liars. You're harassing me, and I don't appreciate it. I've left you alone to your fucking shitty little comedy club where you book your fucking safe little guest that can do a tight 5 on fucking Jimmy Fallon and not swear at all. So leave me alone. That's what's up, dude. And Eric, if you're listening, bro, straight up, you look like shit, dude. You look haggard, fucking balding and eyes sunken in. I don't know what's going on in your life, but looks like it ain't going so well. Sorry about that, but don't take your fucking bullshit out on me, dude. Straight up. I don't ever want to hear from you again. And I fucking sent you an email to that effect. Do not fuck with me further. This is going to be the end of this beef. And if you don't drop it, dude, I'm going to see you in court, motherfucker. Anyway, John Spoor. Yeah, thanks for watching, dude. Beating off some old buddies deep in the woods. Amazing. Yeah, dude, that's predatory behavior. And, and I'm not making any rape accusations against anybody, but, rapists are usually predatory people. And, guys who lure their friends into the woods with sticks to beat them are also, that sounds predatory, So those kind of fit the profile. I'm not making any accusations whatsoever because I don't hang out with Eric. I don't know any of the chicks that he knows. I don't know nothing like that. But, guy who would fucking trick his friend into the woods and then assault him. Never know what a guy like that is capable of. Could be a dangerous guy. Anyway, all right, guys. It's been nice airing this out. Hopefully we can put this to bed now. I'm gonna do my outro video, and I hope you guys tune in for some of the shit I got coming up, man. The Malcolm McKinnon interview is gonna be killer. Anyway, I'm your host, Caleb Teske. Remember, the devil's in the details, and the details are in the fine print. Peace.